The Mixed Mornings and More podcast with Steph and Shawn.
Now available daily.
Good morning, world.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. It's March. It's the 29th, and it's 5:30 on the dot.
And it could be a little bit slippery, like especially in driveways. Mine has the fact that it kind of stopped getting shoveled for a while because, it just felt like it was a never-ending game of the snow's falling again.
You can be honest. It's 5 a.m. It's your lazy husband. Remember when you called him out?
Okay.
And then the whole school division was like, "Hey, guy, remember when you didn't shovel the driveway?"
Okay, no, we don't want to talk about that.
Right. Yeah. Only in 5 o'clock.
Just saying that my driveway is extremely slippery right now. And, but like, curiously, around the cars that we drive, there's like a bunch of sand.
Yes.
But we didn't use any sand this winter or salt. So like, it's as if the cars were like, "It's okay. Don't slip. We'll help you," and put some sand around us.
Yeah.
And so my husband was saying like, "Oh yeah, it must have come in off the street." And I was like, "Yeah, I guess so, like on the tires or something."
Precisely. You are following along the conversation.
That's what he said. He was like, "Tires are the shoes of the car, Steph. How else do you think that this sand would have gotten our car?"
Oh, you should write a children's book.
That is a good one.
That's
okay.
very cute.
I'll write it down.
Yeah.
5 a.m. confessions.
This is like a halfway 5 a.m. confession because I had a thought of doing something, but I didn't execute it, okay?
Okay. Are you like asking if it's okay if you do it? Or are you trying to gauge my reaction?
A little bit.
Okay.
So yesterday, lying in bed, I had a nap and then I was like lying in bed. It was like 2 or 3 in the afternoon and I was just craving cake.
Okay.
Just cake. I don't know why I wanted sweets. And so I was lying there and then for like the whole evening until like 7 o'clock at night, just craving it, but not executing, not actually going out and buying a cake. And I guess that's the confession in it of itself, is that I had some like resistance to it. Cause usually I just would have went out and bought it.
Oh, so really what you're asking for is a pat on the back.
A little bit.
Okay.
Like I had that guilty thought of like, I'm just going to go buy myself another cake and eat it all by myself.
But then I was like, I'm not even going to cut it.
That's right. And then I was like, no, you're not doing that. You're going to think about it for 5 hours, but you're not doing it.
Do you think that you'll be able to continue to resist the cake craving? Have you passed it, or are you going to lay in bed again today and think about it?
I think I might go get it today.
So you're like, one day you've been able to resist, but today today's a whole new day.
That's right. I was like, maybe the craving will go away. But as far as like, that cake still sounds pretty good.
It's like you're rewarding yourself for the resist yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I deserve? A piece of cake.
For resisting for one day.
A whole cake, in fact. I would say that yesterday was a very Monday-ish Monday.
Yeah, is that how you're feeling about it?
Yeah, it was just kind of tiresome. It was a long day. It was like, I don't have any energy but to lay on the couch. But I tried to like muster some.
Yeah.
Because it was so sunny outside and I felt like I needed to like soak it up. And so when I was still at the office way later than I should have been, I texted my husband and I was like, "It's so sunny out. Let's go for a walk." And he texted me back a gif of somebody like dead on a couch. Dead as in exhausted, not actually dead. And I was like, no, we have to go outside. But I guess he was feeling very Monday-ish Monday. Because when I got home, I was like, "Hey, let's just sit down for a while and then let's go for a walk." And he was like, And the entire evening, every time I tried to be like, "It's so sunny," he was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Well, I'm not going to make the first move." Like, I've said the words, but I'm also like, "Ugh."
Yeah, those are the vibes for me as well yesterday. It was, I don't know why, but for some reason, right when I got home, I was like, all right, quick snooze, and then like maybe it's supposed to be like +8, we'll head out and just get like some fresh air, but I was just like, no, once you sink into that couch, it's just like a vampire, it just sucks you in.
Yeah, totally. It's like, I'll just breathe this stale air. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Here's a crazy thought. The average person has 150 online accounts.
Wow. Come to like a first glance when you hear that number, 150, I'm like, no, I use like 3 daily type of thing. But then you think back to when the internet started. Now that I'm thinking, I'm like, what did it like? Does MSN count as an online account?
Potentially.
I had like 4 of those.
Yeah. And like you think about like you have like your work email, you have your personal email, you have your former work email.
Yeah.
And then like how many times do you have to sign up to get an account to have an app? Like say skip the dishes or, you know, like, oh, I'm going to order some clothes online. Here you go. You have an account. Your Amazon account. Like everything wants an account. Even when you go to a restaurant now, they're like, I'll give you a free app if you get your...
So many apps downloaded that you just sign in, you create a quick like 5-second account, and then all of a sudden, what do you do with it? Well, a lot of times I unsubscribe from a lot of the emails, so then I don't even know that I'm part of those accounts anymore.
Out on the interwebs. And the crazy thing too is that, you know, we're in 2022 and having 150 online accounts, but they say back in 2010, the average person had 5 to 7 online accounts. So like we have really gone up. And they also say that 4 in 10 people are locked out of 10 of their accounts every single month.
I believe that. There's so many things that I don't have access to anymore. And it's just like, what did like 10 years ago me even think of would be a password?
Right. And I can't believe how many times I click forgot password and then I type in the password and they're like, it can't be the same as your old one. I'm like, you didn't let me use my old one when I tried to type it in, right? Now you're saying it's the same one? Like, what? Did I just get unfat fingers for the retype of the password?
There we go.
Like, what is going on?
We're talking about how many online accounts the average person has, and you came across a study, Steph, that said the average person around 150 from the time like the internet started to nowadays, which is a wild number to think about. But then you and I off air were chatting about like, oh, do you remember way back, like the very first accounts that you had set up? Say, I remember mine, like MSN, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I think mine was duckgalsteph at hotmail.com. And then like my MSN name, I figured out how to make an angel emoji.
Wow.
And so it was Snow Angel with an angel emoji on either side.
Wow.
Which is brackets a bracket if everybody wants to make one.
Do you remember why Duck Gal?
Yes. A friend of mine called me that because I like was running and I was really bad at running. I was, I guess, like a equivalent to the Phoebe run, but like looked like I was flapping my arms as in trying to fly.
It's like, you know what? This is how people recognize me. So boom. MSN Hotmail account.
Yeah, look at my cool email address. I did have like just my name beforehand, but I wanted something more fun.
Yes,
so
of course. Everyone needed like a wild off like email address. Like mine, I remember mine was Shawnee Too Hottie.
Shawnee Too Hottie.
I know.
Wow.
Cringeworthy.
Jealous how you really felt.
There was a wrestler. I'm pretty sure this is how I remember. There was a wrestler called Scotty Too Hottie, and he was like my favorite. And I was just like, Scotty Too Hottie, Shawnee Too Hottie, mesh the two worlds together. And then it was so cringeworthy, like telling people like to add me on MSN, like Shawnee Too Hottie. And
yeah,
then,
I mean it's cringeworthy now, but you weren't cringing back then.
Yeah, but no one ever added me, so it was just it never worked. So then I had to switch it up.
Did you ever put that email on a resume?
No.
Please say yes.
Well, maybe for like McDonald's, they definitely hired me. They hired everyone though back in the day.
They probably didn't have to send the email application back then. We're so old.
Yeah, it was definitely filling it all up. Like, no, I don't have an email. I'm 12. What are you talking about? Tax season is well upon us right now, so just a healthy reminder for everyone listening: do your taxes.
Do them, or you might have to pay interest. I don't know.
Yeah, because you just send your stuff in, right?
To my mom. Yeah, I don't do them. I say, hi, Mom. Thank you again for all of the years you've been doing this. I appreciate you. I just sent her some flowers or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, just make sure, just a heads up, I came across an article last night because I went to go do my tax, and then I initially saw that I owed money, and then I completely shut it down. I was like,
not today. Nope, not today, devil.
No, I was like, maybe I typed something in wrong. I'll do that again another time. But I read an article last night saying the autofill feature that a lot of online tax programs have could potentially be broken, and it might not actually be filling in your slips correctly. So you have to go back and double check everything.
You're kidding. What is the point of having an autofill button if it's not going to autofill correctly?
Right. So it was first introduced back in 2016 is what I've read. And it basically just, it grabs information that the CRA already has, like a bunch of your T-slips, like T4s, etc., RRSP contributions. The CRA already has that information. And so the autofill will just take all that, all the lines that come on your T4s, blah, blah, blah. It will already fill it in. And so you can just skip majority of the filling out of your taxes. So it takes like 10 minutes and then you're done. But the article that I read was basically it's missing. Like it's not even sometimes it's not even loading in one of those autofill forms. And so for someone who doesn't even double check all the lines and everything, which I didn't even double check. I was like, autofill, boom. I was like, I owe money. I've never owed money in my life. And then I just shut it down. I got scared. I turned it off. And so it's just a heads up to everyone that double check, and you might even have to do it manually just in case if things look off.
You might not actually owe money, Shawn. It could just be that this messed up your lines.
I think so. See, that's what I'm thinking, because I've never owed money in my life. And when I saw that, I was like, it can't be. I started like trembling. I was like, I can't owe money to the government in this economy. Like,
economy? I'll cross
you
my
owe
fingers.
me money.
Got in a situation the other day that I need to hear your advice on what you would have done.
Ooh, okay.
All right, so I'm walking out of the grocery store and I'm about halfway to my car when I turn around to look behind me and I see someone driving across the front of the store and they have their window rolled down and they just like grab a wad of trash from their passenger seat.
Yeah.
And just drop it out the window. Like just napkins and gross pieces of garbage now just catching in the wind and flying everywhere.
Oh.
What would you do?
And did they just like speed off afterwards, or like
speed is not the word I would use. They just kept rolling along as if they didn't
casually?
didn't just litter everywhere.
Oh man, I've always wanted to do like those viral videos, you know, where the person like grabs their garbage and shoves it back into like their window.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do that, but if they casually drove off, then you couldn't. I've never actually done that in real life as well. That's very angering. Like littering has gotten so much better, I feel, as the years have gone by, but it's still so much a problem. And to see it that blatantly in the middle of a parking lot, I don't know. I mean, I would probably maybe go pick up their trash if it was like right in front of me and put it in the garbage, but I don't know. There's not much. What else can you do? Like,
yeah, I considered being like, hey, but then I was like, everybody's going to look at me and probably the person that's slowly ambling by with the guilty conscience is going to just keep driving.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, the weird thing is it's a parking lot. Like, how many garbage cans are in a parking lot? And if you are driving in the grocery store parking lot, you have probably stopped or are going to be stopping and getting out of your car. So, like, it just seemed like it's not like it was a dirty diaper that you just couldn't handle the smell of and you were nowhere close to a trash can. Like, this was just regular
you're tossing dirty diapers
trash.
out your window?
No, absolutely. I'm just trying to, like, find a way out for this person that there's any possible excuse they could make to do this.
Yeah, no, it's disgusting. It's disgusting, and it has no place because it has gotten better. But then you just have a blatant example like this. You're like, all right, well, clearly they need to be shown how to like be an adult still.
Yeah, and what kind of is it a choice as a human where you're just like, you know what? I think somebody else can pick up my garbage.
Yeah.
Or, I don't mind walking around in dirty streets. I'll add to, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like gross entitlement like that.
Oh, I don't like it, Shawn.
So for the past week and some, I've been a little under the weather. I think I've been like trying to fight off allergies a little bit.
Right. And we at first thought that you got this sickness from like maybe a bowling ball or maybe the Oil Barons game. But now we've decided since it's been lingering and it's kind of a headache and stuffy nose that actually probably just allergic to the snow melt.
Yeah. I've never been an allergy type of person, but then for some reason I hit my 30s and it was just like breakdown. You're going to be and just like avoid COVID for 2 years, but allergies is going to knock you out for a week. It's like, all right, cool. So then it's been lingering on for a little bit and just like some things here or there have been popping up. And one of the things that's been affecting me is just my ears have just been ringing.
Oh,
like
dear.
Crazy. Like go to lie down for a nap, completely quiet. What do I hear? Ringing in my ears.
Now, what does ringing sound like? Is it sounding like a bell?
Like when you get home from a concert. That's how I can describe it. And it's just like a ringing in your ears, essentially.
That sounds very annoying.
Yeah, so now what do? I diagnose myself, right? So I go into the Google machine, WebMD, if you will, and I just say, why are my ears ringing? And so up pops tinnitus. And I've heard this word before. I've heard other people talk about it, but I never really knew what it was. And that's essentially it. It's the ringing in your ears, and it can be caused by like many different things. And then like one of them is like, if you had like maybe like allergies or like a cold or like an ear or sinus infection earlier on, and then this could just be like a a stepping stone to the next step, kind of like your cold sometimes.
Does it say how long it's going to last?
No.
What the cure is for it? Or is this just your life now?
Yeah, I think I'll go to visit a doctor, because remember the other day I was talking about how like sometimes when I move my jaw, like I can hear like a little cracking in my ear.
Yeah.
I think that also has to do with this. So a lot of things are adding up to just, Shawn, go see a doctor. Like,
yes, one of those ear, nose, and throat specialists, because it sounds like you've got problems in all three places.
yes.
Want more of today's show?
Download the Mixed Mornings and More podcast.
Now available every weekday.